Hi everybody, this is Sandy Collins and welcome to Oz Living. Now today's guest is a woman in blockchain who wears multiple hats. She is one of the founding team members of the DWeb, Southeast Asian Node in the Metaverse for All, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusivity movement. And among others, she is the CEO and founder of IKIGUIDE Metaverse Collective. It is Singapore's first Bitcoin and blockchain educational portal with a mission to help 10 million people cross over the Web 3.0 space. Now, Web3 is something I am personally excited to delve on, but before anything else, Wan Wei, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Yanni.
All right, and you're having all of these different speaking opportunities, which is so amazing. So I wanted to go back a little bit and understand, why did you decided to get into the blockchain industry?
Oh, that's a really good question. So in 2014, I first got to know of Bitcoin because I was doing my master's in Helsinki. And one of my course mates, he did his master's thesis on Bitcoin. So I helped him vet because we were on pretty good terms. Then I was like, oh, so there's such a thing as Bitcoin. And then in the same year, there was this major startup event in Helsinki. It's called Slash. And being the hardworking Asian kid I was, right? The whole summer vacation when everyone else was out there playing or hanging out with each other, I was in the library studying. So what happened to Slash is that in that particular year, everyone I knew in my cohort went to volunteer for Slash. So you have to volunteer to get a volunteer pass in order not to pay the full amount to go Slash.
Okay.
Yeah. So I found out about Slash event 1 month before it occurred. And I was like, oh crap, how do I participate in it? Can I still volunteer? And they said, no, you have to spend your whole summer volunteering, right? So I told the organizers, hey, I'm going to go on media since I did my master's in corporate communications. So I told them, hey, I'm from Singapore. Why not I cover your startups and I'll make it available to Singapore media?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they said okay. To my surprise, they said okay. And that was how IKIGUIDE started.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so it started in 2014, and it originally was a personal branding for entrepreneurs and how we covered startups, a place where we can cover new startups and investment rounds, right? In 2017, because of the hype for crypto, we pivoted it to a blockchain and cryptocurrency education portal. So we have to get on board the masses. And 2021, because we saw this huge opportunity in the metaverse, that's how we pivoted again to focus on the metaverse and a collective, a safe space for people who want to join the metaverse but don't know how. So that's how we got started.
I love it. And what was the inspiration behind putting up the first ever education portal? What was the motivation behind this?
Actually, it wasn't, to be very honest, it wasn't anything very noble. It was just a positioning thing. Hey, we can position ourselves as Singapore first, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency education portal targeted at the masses, because a lot of content then was very niche. So it was very intimidating. If I feel like I don't know emerging technology, I wouldn't go to that portal. So we wanted to make it something that is not so intimidating and readily accessed by a lot of people.
And also simplifying complex concepts for these people to actually understand it better. Yeah.
Exactly.
And also major congrats to your new book,
Thank you.
The NFT Mania. I had yet to read it over the weekend.
I actually bought 2 copies for you and Andre.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'll pass it to you.
Thank you so much. I must. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But yeah, this is super exciting. So tell me about the inspiration behind writing your new book.
Okay, so basically right now I'm in a privileged position where I get a lot of questions, feedback daily on my social media. So in 2021, there were a lot of people getting scammed by this thing called NFT.
Okay.
So these are people, some of them I spoke to ever since 2017. I told them to buy Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin, buy Ether, buy Bitcoin, buy Ether. And nobody, none of the people in that group actually
believed you.
Yeah, they were like, oh, it's a scam, it's a scam, it's a scam.
Okay.
And suddenly, exactly right, in 2021, people were buying NFT from the group and they were getting scammed. like, then I was like, I don't understand, like, what is this NFT going on? And how they were getting scammed was through phishing websites. So they got pitched because when they went to mint the new project, they mistyped something on the URL, and they just got scammed. And when you get scammed the first time, usually there's this phobia already.
Yeah, just a trauma, basically.
Yeah, like, so everything else is a scam to you because you just got scammed in the minting process, right? So I decided to write this book, or rather I decided to curate this book so that people don't get scammed. Yeah, so that was the original motivation. And I think personally, I was very fortunate to have very supportive projects, because this whole book is actually sponsored by this particular project run by Sinfin Blockchain Network. So I didn't have to pay a single cent, and I was very fortunate to have very supportive trailblazers who are willing to share their experiences. So I would say that the success of the book was really because of these sponsors and trailblazers. Yeah.
I love it. And now talking about NFTs, like, where do you see the value of NFTs in the long term?
Okay.
Or is this all about hype?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think NFT fundamentally is a business model innovation, simply because creators right now, they transfer the risk of creating from themselves to the community. And community members now have the opportunity to invest directly in the creators. So if I like you and I believe in you, I invest in you. So fundamentally, this is a business model innovation to me. And I do not think it's a hype, because it's all about community. So the question is not so much of is it hype or is it sustainable, but more of how do I engage the community long term.
I love it. And now moving on to the Web3 and Metaverse, which is so vague. And for those who are watching this right now and who's still trying to make sense of what Web3 and Metaverse are, could you briefly describe how these two worlds are?
I think Web3 is inevitable. I know it has been like, oh, that's a really good question, by the way. Okay, before I talk about Web3, let me talk about Metaverse, right? Because people are like using this term however they want. Firstly, I do not think Metaverse fundamentally is a platform. I really do not think that. I know a lot of media, a lot of narrative on the media might position it as such because of Facebook, aka Meta right now, right? And Facebook's a platform, right? It's a closed platform, centralized platform. And so it's very tempting to see the Metaverse as a platform. Having said that, just like to propose to everyone, like, what's the use of a platform if you don't have people on it?
Yes.
We need a community to be on the platform. Right. So fundamentally, the first principle to a metaverse is really that it is a community. So the way I define it is the metaverse is a safe space where people are empowered to choose their types of communities. And where this kind of immersive and interactivity comes in is through the storytelling. So the experience they have after they are empowered to choose their own communities, they are empowered also to have combined shared experiences that are immersive and also interactive. So the first principle is still the community. Yeah, that's for Metaverse. And Web3 is like this, this really huge web of, or you can think of it like the next iteration of the mobile internet that you can enjoy and that is immersive and interactive and social.
How about the DNA of the community here in Singapore? Because I believe that the country's approach towards these emerging tech will very much affect these the success of its blockchain community. So if you were to describe the community you have here in Singapore, how would you describe it?
I think it's great. Exactly your point, right? Recently there have been a lot of like saying that, hey, why don't we just go Dubai? Because it's so open in Dubai and things like that. Having said that, I think the community here is, there are regulations in Singapore because our government is more toward the paternalistic side. So on a daily basis, even for the crash of Terra Luna, people were making police reports.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for like the basis, the logic was as like how can it be a stable coin, USDT? What's that? USDT? Is it USDT for Terra? UST?
USDT.
I cannot.
We
I
have to,
can't
like,
remember.
check.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the stable coin for Luna, right? Yeah, I can't even remember what is it. I mean, I have it, but I can't remember what is it. I have like a lot of altcoins, right?
Exactly.
So people were like making police reports because how can you say it's a stable coin where it just crashed?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
people were making police report against Do Kwon, and I was like, perhaps it's only in Singapore that such things could happen because you need a level of trust in the police that they will do something for you in order to make such a ridiculous police report. So you have stuff like that in Singapore, and I think essentially this impacts how the community behaves. Having said that, Web3 space is a very open space, so there's open access to knowledge, openness to sharing things with each other. I've heard a lot of things from Web2 people when they go to a Web3 platform. They realize that people are not afraid of their ideas being stolen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, ideas being stolen is a Web2 concept.
Okay.
Yeah, so people were like sharing things very openly, and the community spirit is really there. People want to co-create in a very open manner, and I think that's great.
How about you personally? Are you into trading? Like altcoins? Do you have like a portfolio?
I have portfolios, but I'm those kind of bad traders that I just hold. I don't really sell.
Do you believe that cryptocurrencies could be like the future of mediums of payment? Are we talking about like Bitcoin here or Ethereum, or do you have like any other?
Bitcoin and Ether, yes. Yeah. Why is that so? Because I think it's a demand and supply thing, right? I mean, as long as people are willing to accept it as a medium of exchange, I don't see why not. No matter how inefficient.
Now, talking about women in blockchain, as you're a huge inspiration to these women in general, what would you say is the best way for a woman to go about entering the space?
Basically, just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, because I guess as women, right, we have a lot of reservations. So just do it and maybe start small. Like, don't start with $10,000. Start with $10. Maybe a lot of people do not know that with 10 Sing dollars, you can actually buy some parts of Bitcoin or Ether. Yeah, start small, see how you feel. I mean, once you are financially invested, definitely you will be very sensitive and curious about what's happening to your coin, and then see how you feel, and based on that feedback loop, decide if you want to put more money.
Definitely. And for those people who wanted to get a job in this space, like, but are very insecure because they lack the knowledge maybe, or they just lack the resources to feel capable of thriving in this market, what would be your advice to them?
I think as long as the particular individual has some sort of skill set or expertise in the Web2 space, like a specialization area, it's possible to enter. I think most people feel like they don't know how to make the initial steps, which goes back again to the point of just do it. So let's say if you want to enter the NFT space but don't have prior network, you can just find your favorite NFT project, get involved in the community, and ask and have a very honest chat with the founders or the community. What are things you can do for them? And then that becomes your portfolio.
Wow, okay, that's powerful. Well, Wan Wei, thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming in on the show because I think that you'll definitely inspire quite a few women out there to enter the space. So I really appreciate your time and thank you so much for it.
Thank you, Yanni.